Hey everyone, in class 4 we kind of started to integrate more core exercises or activation exercises for your abdominal region to integrate from the rib cage to the pelvis that you can throw into your workouts. One thing I went over as well is kind of repetitions, how many you should do, and then also sets and stuff. So it's a little bit more programming, and it all comes down to starting lower. Start with a couple exercises that you put into a circuit and then see where you are. Go based on how you feel. That's the best indicator of where you're at, because sometimes numbers, they're just numbers in a sense, and everyone's going to be different, and everyone's, exercise ability is going to be different. So you want to strive to always improve. It doesn't necessarily have to be based on the numbers in a sense when you're moving up, but also how you feel. Now with that, at the end of class 3, we talked about a mobility drill for the thoracic spine to help throw in between circuits, so at the tail end of a circuit. And the reason why is sometimes you don't necessarily have as much time, right? Maybe you have 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and you're trying to get a lot of things in, or you want to feel accomplished at the end of it. So instead of waiting around in between circuits, say 30 seconds to a minute because you're trying to catch your breath, well, throwing in an exercise that helps improve your mobility, flexibility, whatever it might be, can also help downregulate your system to prepare you for your next set. So you're creating some density to your program. So you do a couple exercises, then you throw in a stretch or a flexibility exercise, and then you repeat. So by the time you're done with your circuit or your workout, you would have already integrated some of your flexibility exercises that you would have possibly done in your cool down. So what we went over was the quadruped T-spine drill. So going back to it, we got into this quadruped position and you kind of sat back where you could feel comfortable, put your hand on the back of your head, and we wanted to track the tip of this elbow to the inside where your bicep kind of connects, okay? Slow and controlled, rotating up. And we like to have your eyes follow the tip of your elbow because it helps you add degrees of rotation. Slow and controlled, okay? And I always recommend 3 to 6 on each side depending on how you feel. Once again, each set may be different. Maybe you have a higher intensity workout, maybe you do 4 to 6 of them or 5 to 6 of them, and then maybe if it's a little bit lower intensity, maybe do 3, okay? So once again, back of the head and then rotate. So then in class 4, what I did was we integrated and we started kind of working out a little bit more. So we're really focusing on the abdominal regions, okay? So I want to go over the circuit that we went through, and we went through it a couple times to kind of now program how we're going to structure these workouts in a sense. And I always recommend about 2 core exercises and then throw in, a mobility drill. Once again, everyone's going to everyone's going to be different. So maybe it could be 1 core exercise and then a flexibility drill. But I always recommend throwing in some type of mobility or flexibility drill at the end, because once again, it's creating density program and you can kind of do less over a longer period of time. So the first one we went over was the dead bugs. So that's one where we lay our lower back, press our lower back into the ground, bring our knees to 90 degrees, arms vertical, we go opposite sides, okay? So from here, we go anywhere from 2 to 4 each side. You're trying to really point your toes out and reach the fingertips back while maintaining vertical and vertical with your lower back pressed, okay? And then you switch. This is really great for integrating the lower and upper half when we're talking about targeting the core, okay? Second exercise we had was the side plank. Couple variations. Remember, we're going to stack elbow under shoulder. First variation is we stack knees on top of each other and just lift the hips up. Hold that position. And then we emphasize in this position breathing. So breathe in through the nose, exhale through the mouth. All right? What that does is your abdominal muscles, your core muscles, help with respiration, and they also help with postural control and motor control as you're moving. So you can work them even more instead of doing it for time, for breaths, because now you're doing what it does best. It helps with respiration. It also helps with bracing your spine and stuff so then you can move. Our next level of side plank was crossing the leg over, adding a third point of contact, lifting up and holding 3 to 5 breaths, okay? And then is when we added that mobility drill, the T-spine drill at the end, okay? So I'm going to go through a circuit of this with you as if we're working out, and then place it how you feel. So if you like this set, we're going to do side planks first, then we're going to go dead bugs, and then we're going to do the T-spine drill. We're just going to do one round of this. However, if you're like, hey, I like this, it's kind of easy, do 2 rounds. And then how it's programmed, you decide how you want to do this. You can end up doing 3 to 4 rounds of this, or you can then change the recovery in between. So say I do the side plank for 3 breaths. I do dead bugs for 4 each side, and then I do 3 T-spine drills on each side, or T-spine rotations. I can go right into my next round if I feel I can do it, or maybe wait a little bit longer. And as you start to integrate this more, you can change, like, hey, maybe I'll go 1 more round, or maybe I'll limit the recovery in between rounds. So you don't always have to add more rounds. You could also focus on limiting the time in between your rounds as well. All right, so round 1, here we go. So we're gonna do a side plank. I'm gonna start with stacked knees, lift my hips up, tuck the rib cage, 3 breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Trying to get as much air in as I can. Exhaling as much air out as if I'm blowing through a straw and there's 42 candles in front of me. 3rd breath done, flip over. Same thing. Knees stacked, hips stacked, tuck the rib cage, 3 breaths. The longer you exhale, the more abdominals you're going to get out of this. Once I've done with that 3rd one, flip to my back, press my lower back in, knees up, arms vertical, opposite sides, maintaining my lower back pressed into the ground the whole time. After my 4th one, this is where the elevated heart rate's going to be. You could be sweating. So you're like, okay, how do I bring down my heart rate a little bit? Because I'm about to go into that side plank again. And I don't want to go into the side plank where my heart rate's too elevated, because I'll start to use muscles that help the core when you're excessively breathing, but they're not focusing on help tightening and getting that strength in that abdominal region. It'll be your neck muscles and stuff like that. So you do want your heart rate to come down a little bit, and you want to be able to control your breathing to a certain extent. So T-spine. Slow, controlled. Nice and easy, go to your ability. And then I'd go into the next round. So an overview of class 4 was all about now integration of core exercises with like a flexibility or mobility drill. So showing you that, hey, you don't need to wait 30 seconds to a minute before you hit your next set. That you can put exercises together and make it in a circuit where when you only have maybe 5-10 minutes, you're able to really target everything that you're trying to accomplish. Because sometimes it's like, oh, I only have 10 minutes, I can't really do a lot, so I'm not going to do anything. And we found out that the consistency over a long time of working out or exercising, whatever it might be, is going to give you better results than skipping a 5-minute day, because it's not about what you do today, it's about what you do over a long period of time. So we're trying to put money in the bank by strengthening that core, so that when you want to go hiking, you want to go do something, you can take and you can cash out those chips in a sense, because you've utilized it by working on getting stronger. Okay, so try those out, and you can program however you want. Like I said, listen to your body. I always recommend 2 core exercises and then a flexibility drill. Or if you're going to do an upper body drill, do an upper body drill, put like push-ups, do a core exercise like dead bugs, and then do the T-spine drill. So you can integrate this however you want. Stay tuned to our next class, in class 5, as we start to add more exercises that you can throw into your library where you can kind of mix it up. But like I said, I talked about, listen to your body. Start with lower rounds in a sense, and then start to build. You don't need to start with 12 rounds. You don't need to do a lot of repetitions. Kind of see where you're at, see how you feel, and then just try and stay consistent when it's all said and done, because that's going to be the key. All right? So stay tuned until next time as we start to integrate more exercises in our CFRI class.